All right, check it out. We got our paper in here. Didn't really fit as good as we'd hoped, but the main reason is basically you're twisting. So even though I took a bunch of measurements, you don't really get that taken into account perfectly. But it's not bad. We're hanging off this edge a little bit, which is not a big deal. We can literally, that actually might be a preference, because that makes it easier to weld, and then you can just grind it back versus having gaps to deal with. But yeah, that's how it looks. Comes right up against that. See that spot with the marker? We got to trim it because we're hitting there, but that we were trying to get that fit. We just eyeballed it, but we kind of nailed it. So we'll be able to tack weld to help support that shell right there if we choose to do so. And if you get up in here, it's hard to see, but I mean, that's right up against the metal. That part turned out awesome. This seems like it's worse than it is. This goes here, so it is pretty bad. We kind of missed that somehow, I don't know. But yeah, check it out from this point. So here's the car. And I wish the lighting was better. I have my light on, but anyway. Just giant openings, you know, so like watch this. My hand goes this far into the metal before I touch that paper. So that's a few inches of tire clearance that we could trim this wheel well now. Yeah, so here we got to there. Over here, yeah, it's the same because they're centered, so we got a lot of room. Should we need to cut this some more, we got a lot of room for this wheel well. God, it's funny with those being black, it just kills it. It makes it look like the camera's off. But yeah, very happy. These, oh yeah, here we go. You can kind of see how ridiculous this is. Oh, there we go. There's a good shot. Look at that. It's just paper right now, but that's awesome. So yeah, we are going to think about this for a minute, but I think we're just going to go ahead and cut the metal one to shape. And I may get to use a fancy tool. This metal is pretty flimsy. Like, this bends easy. It's not really a big deal. But I actually bought a roller to roll metal to give it a curve. So I think we're going to throw it in there and curve this a little bit. It should make it a little bit easier to deal with. But yeah. And then luckily, or hopefully, if this works out, that pattern, you just flip it over and it'll be a mirror image for the other side. So hopefully that works out. Okay, check it out. So we just made this piece out of metal and we curved it up. So I bought this thing probably a year ago or whatever. It's been a while. Never used it, but it's exactly what it looks like. You just turn the handle, little rollers turn, and you can move this up and down and it curves the metal, you know. And it's as easy. I mean, everyone's seen a video of one of these. You just spin the handle and metal comes out curved. It's as easy as it looks. I didn't read any instructions. I literally just dropped this all the way down to where the metal just kind of goes straight through, and then as you raise this up, it puts a curve in it. So I just slowly brought it up, and this took like not even 5 minutes. And the curve pretty much matches perfect. And it's sheet metal. It's easy to bend. If you overdo it, you just bend it back. So a piece of cake. Super excited, man. I've never been able to do shit like this, so this is really neat. But anyway, we're about to throw this in the car, see how it does. Oh man, this looks sick. I'm super happy with this. Check that out. Holy shit. That's awesome. All right, so that's fitting pretty good. You'll note we got a problem here. This isn't really a problem. So this isn't laying here because it's hitting this metal. So I designed this to, I was gonna notch around it, but after thinking about it, this metal's just sitting here doing nothing. So we're gonna cut this off and have that metal, it'll follow this curve, but this floor, as you can see, it's poking up. It needs to come sit down on this surface. So we gotta take this out and cut some of this shit out of the way. But hey, that'll save another, I don't know, a few ounces or something, whatever it is. But it'll make the design of this easier too. So about to cut that metal out, and then we'll see how this does. But it's looking good so far. Man, I'm super happy. This is fucking cool. Look how wide these are. I don't know if y'all got perspective, but these are big. And they are tucked in there. All right, so check this out. This fitment, man, we just lucked up on this. So all that measuring we did, look how tight this fits to the body. Small gap there, but this is, I'm just having a hard time holding it. That does pull up. And then look at this seam. Just right on the edge. All the way. Back over here to the car. Look at this. Really nice. Here's the top. Remember we did this? Look at that shit. That is amazing. Let's go check out the wheel wells. We have magnets in here now, just kind of helping hold everything in place. But look at that. Here it is to the sheet metal. I mean, it's tight. That is awesome. That really worked. I'm impressed. When I weld it, it's going to look like hell. But I'll tell you what, this part looks good. Check this out. Holy crap. So we got this sucker welded in. Man, this shit looks badass. Fucking foot wide tires, here we come. So everything went pretty good. Blew a couple holes here and there, but this is only 30 thou thick. Would have been easier to use thicker steel, but we're really trying to save weight. So we didn't. We used the thin shit. And there it is. So it's cool. You can, it messed up my paint, but you can see how much bigger these are in the wheel well compared to like the old ones. These things are humongous. So really cool. Very happy with that. So anyway, we're gonna keep on working. We gotta do the other side next. Okay, so after a lot of work, we got the second side fit up pretty nicely. Not gonna say it's perfect, but it's pretty damn close. So you can see this is the front edge. So at this very corner, peels away a little bit, but it gets tight. And it mostly just follows. I can't probably get my camera in here. But it's basically right up against the fender there. Coming back to this side, you can see we're pretty much just butted up against it. There's a little kick out. So pretty good there. And then of course this seam, baller. That one's good all the way. And then this, we're centered on our marks. And this part's also difficult to film because there's magnets, but basically that gap there is about the same as the other side. So this metal, yeah, here's a good capture of that edge right there. One little spot. That's okay. For the most part, she fits great. We checked, so the car is tilted like this right now because it's on the lift and it's not perfect. So we're leaning like a tiny bit this way. And I checked this one and I checked this one and they're not perfect. But I am not going to do better than this. This is within about 1 degree. It's plenty good enough for, you know, for me. So this shit's getting welded in there. They're just wheel wells. This isn't like a show car, and I like to do good work, and this is good work for me. I don't know how to do much better than this. I'm actually impressed that that turned out as good as it did, because Jesus Christ, if y'all saw the sheet metal work I've done in the past, you would not believe I did that. So with that said, we cleaned everything pretty well. I don't know if this will show up on camera. It doesn't really show up. Here's this spot. See how this edge here looks shinier? All I did was wipe that edge down with acetone, and I did that around this whole part. These metal pieces I got were oddly not rusting, and that kind of tipped me off that they must have oiled these or something, and sure enough, when you wipe them with acetone, they must have oiled these slightly, or the stuff they buy it from comes oiled. So it's nice that it doesn't rust, but I did that on this one too. You can actually see the mark here. That's not from heat, that's from wiping it down with acetone. So we did it on that one too, because we just had a feeling, but you should always clean stuff when you're going to weld it. So anyway, with that said, we're about to fire up the MIG welder, get this thing tacked in, or welded in at least. We're just doing these little spot welds everywhere. But we're going to do the same thing over here, get that done, and I think we're going to knock off for the night. But assuming all goes well and we get this welded in here tonight, we will have done both of these in 2 days from start to finish, which is fantastic. Considering how slow the cage went, that's really good for me. So anyway, let's get to it. So we got this on. Funny, look what it does to the paint. As we spot weld around, it bubbles the paint off in little spots. So the car's definitely gonna need a paint job. But look at this. She's in. I swear I have the light on, but it's not showing up very great. But yeah, she's in. Tack welded. Looking fine. Here's the, try to get both of these in the shot. Yeah, it does, kind of hard to film, but they're there. Hell yeah, man. So that's good progress. We got both of those done in 2 days. Stoked about that. And we're gonna end this on a high note. We're gonna knock off for the rest of the night, go get some dinner, come back tomorrow, get back after it, and see what we can. I don't even know what we're gonna do next, because my plan was to try to get, well, I guess maybe the next thing will be these braces. That'll probably be next, do them braces. But yeah, we didn't really have a great plan because I'm getting more done quicker than I thought. So good news. Hopefully this momentum continues. Anyway, till next time, y'all take it easy.